Hi, welcome to the Old Geezer's Diary. It's the 19th of August 2019. I'm Chris, and I don't know whether you noticed all the kerfuffle over the weekend about retirement ages. A man called Ian Duncan Smith brought out a proposal from a Tory think tank to say that in 2036 retirement age ought to be up to 75. That's from what it will be in real life then. It's currently planned in 2028 to be 67, the maximum age of retirement. So that's adding another 7 years onto that, or 8 years should I say onto that, in just about 8 years. Hey! So people who are looking now at retiring in 2036 at the age maybe of 67 will suddenly discover that they have to work for an additional 8 years. That's a long time, and I believe that's entirely and completely unfair under present circumstances. For me, I retired when I was 65 insofar as I got a pension then, but I actually quit my proper job when I was in my early 50s and carried on working in different ways to make a living, but having a much more interesting time. So my view on it was I don't have a problem with the retirement age. I still work at 73 and I'm still doing fine, thank you very much. But the reality for so many people is that they have jobs that they really don't like. There are lots of jobs out there that are really just hard work. You may get a sense of satisfaction that you've done your hard work, but one of the things that people look forward to is having more time to themselves in retirement. And the question you ask now is, if the Tories are determined to jack up the retirement age to the level that they're talking about, what time do you have? A retirement age of 65 or 66 gives you presently 13 or 14 years of retirement if you're a man, and probably 15, 16 or maybe 17 years of retirement if you're a woman and if you live to the average age. Women currently have an average age of 83 and men 79. So if the increase in pensionable age goes up to 75, that means men will have a retirement of 5 years and women of about 8 years compared to what we currently have, which is seriously better. So what are we talking about here? What are people actually going to be getting out of it? Well, I suppose the reality is that for most people, if they work till they're 75, they will get a better pension. But you'll have less time to enjoy it, and it's quite probable that that pension for many people may go on things like care and care home payments. Is that the way we want to go? I think this is all quite frightening, and it seems very much to me as if what the Tories are saying, we don't want to pay you any pension at all, we would like you to die before you collect the pension, and if we can keep you working, perhaps you will. Does that sound realistic to you? Because knowing how a lot of Conservatives think, I would say that's quite close to the truth. Now, I'm neither a Labour nor a Conservative voter. In the past, I've voted both ways. But the reality is that this one, I think, scares me, not on my own behalf. Goodness knows I'm old enough not to worry. But for younger people, I think the world is changing, and the world is changing in I can only say, a nasty way. We have currently on our hands global warming and all the related problems. We have currently on our hands pollution and all those related problems. And we have on our hands currently things like house price increases, which means that younger people can't buy houses. So what's going to happen to all this? People are going to start giving up, I think, a bit of hope. People will stop seeing what we have as pensioners as achievable. And that's really bad news for everybody, because if people lose hope for the future, then it's going to become a big problem to run a civilized society. In our society right now, we have lots of problems. We have loads of problems about care. We have loads of problems about law and order. We have loads of other problems. And the reality is that this government and perhaps other governments want to run away from those problems. They would like us to work until we drop, in effect, and not get any benefits out of life. You can have a wonderful time while you're working, maybe, but in reality, once you get to a certain age, then you're going to be kind of kicked aside a bit, aren't you? I think that this proposal to increase pension age to 75 is possibly a ploy. I'd like to see what happens over the coming years insofar as will the Tories push this one? Because if they do, you can see it losing elections for them if they're ever going to win an election with Boris in the hot seat. But you can also see them saying, oh, we've achieved a miracle. Instead of working to 75, you're only going to have to work to 70 and everybody will vote for them. What do you reckon? Do you think that's the case? I think the truth of this whole matter is that this 75 thing is a red herring in one way, but in another way, it's probably the truth. I think it's probably true that if we did get retirement age up to 75, then they could afford to pay you a decent pension. The drawback is that at 75 and older, many people have failing health, have all sorts of problems, and in reality, you wouldn't get any joy out of your retirement anyway. So I'd say to you that this looks like a plot to try and make people work harder, work longer, and not get the benefits that we've had as a retired population out of the world. I think it's quite scary for people, really. What do you think? I would love to hear what you think if you're retired, if you're not retired, if you're coming up for retirement on the present basis in 2036. I'd really like to hear what you think, because I bet you love the idea. So let's see what the population actually think. It'll be fascinating to know. My name's Chris, this is the Old Geezer's Diary. You can find me online on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, all over the show, and increasingly on Instagram now as well, by just searching for the Old Geezer's Diary. That's Old Geezer's Diary. These are the addresses you can find us at, and if you see us on YouTube, give us a like, click on subscribe, ring the little bell to get yourself a constant stream of updates about new video content. In the meantime, I'm Chris, this is the Old Geezer's Diary, and I will see you soon.